A career spanning decades with multiple albums, gospel singer Rofhiwa Manyaga has begun his musical journey playing piano at the church at the tender age of 11 years old. Since then, he's released 6 albums, with one debuting in 2001. He's here in studio with us, and he will take to the stage later on with a performance here on the South African Morning. Rofhiwa, welcome to the South African Morning. So glad to have you join us.
Thank you for having me. Thank
My
you for
absolute
the invite.
pleasure. So you started playing the piano at a very early age, 11 years old.
Very early.
Was there always a passion for music, and specifically gospel music?
I believe I was born a musician. I think that's why it started very early, because before then, those boys who used to play tunes, pretending to
So
play
it was
drums.
always in you?
Yeah, so at least the real instrument, 10, 11, then I was starting to actually learn the piano, and yeah, it started there. Yes.
And then did it evolve into you being involved in the church and involved in the church choir? So many huge artists start their careers there, so
Yeah.
it's been a place where a lot of big artists started from. Talk us through your experience being in the church and involved in music.
You know, I always say church is a free school for musicians, because that's where we grew and being groomed and nurture our talents freely, so like on a weekly basis actually. So I think that experience of me having to be in church, having to be active in church at a very early age had helped me a lot to actually find myself in this musical journey. Yeah.
And is that also part of the inspiration and part of where you find excitement and get inspired from, excuse me?
You know, an inspiration in church, it will always be very, very big. I think it is all because of the environment. You know, that environment where, especially with me having to do a gospel music and find myself in church, having to learn a lot about the word. Having to actually grab a lot that I can write about when I'm writing my music, which is word based. So the inspiration, I would say, it was too much. Yeah.
And then did that also inspire you then to start your own record label back in 2005? I see a lot of artists going that route in starting their own record labels and signing themselves and pushing themselves and promoting.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that. You know, you do what you got to do as an artist in South Africa.
Yeah.
So talk to us about you deciding to start your own record label.
I think it was okay with me. It was back then when I was still working with Taki. There was a duo called Taki and Rofhiwa. So when the company issue come about, it was because of rejection. Where now you are trying to put your music in these big companies, and no one wants to listen to you.
Yeah.
Which languages are you singing? Venda. Okay, what are you saying? You know, so it was kind of like a challenge. So whereby one would actually ended up deciding, you know what? Let's just do this thing, man. Yeah, this thing, I'm just doing it. I mean, no one will stop me anyway. Yeah. And I think I can see how this thing is done, and then that's it.
Yeah, I believe that, you know, sometimes you have to go for it yourself, because oftentimes other people won't push as hard for your career as you would push for yourself. So you have to be focused enough to go at it alone. You've also collaborated with some of the best gospel artists we have in the country. Talk to us about the importance of collaboration, specifically in this gospel space.
You know, I think collaboration to me teaches me, working with other people and having grounds where you are able to do proper and good work, not individually but with other people as well. So having to collaborate with a lot of people, I think it also gave me a very good ground, and it also nurture you in a way. In my language, there's no way you will end learning. You learn until
it's continuous.
So, yeah. So when you are collaborating, obviously there are quite a number of things which you are learning from others, and when you now stand alone, you ended up utilizing all those things that you have been learning from others.
Definitely.
So it works better. It is very important.
And talking about nurturing, you did a gospel star search some time ago. Is it still ongoing? Talk to us about it.
It is coming to be very much on starting from this year, end of this year.
Okay, great.
It was ever since there was a pandemic, it had stopped. So, but now this year it's coming back with a bang. Reason being of me doing that, I think it was one, giving back to my community.
Important.
To say, you know what, with the little that I've accumulated throughout the year, at least I can share some. And at least one artist a year that I can actually help to grow.
That's
and
beautiful.
I've raised quite a lot of them, in even those who did not win. If you go to my wood, you find them having to be inspired because they were part of Star Search.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you're going to be performing for us shortly. Talk to us about what we can expect in the performance, and also a little bit about your music.
My music, I write music with joy in many a times. I hardly write music, sad music. I always like to speak about good things. I always like to praise. I always like to worship more than complaining. I am not saying those who write that are wrong. Preferences will always be different.
Of course,
you know?
Of course.
So what I prefer is to write about that. And even the song that I'm going to sing, it simply means he will always stand by us. He will always be with us. When we go through fire, he's there. He is with us. Yes.
No, Rofhiwa, we appreciate upliftment. We appreciate positive energy. And thank you for bringing that into the space. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
We look forward to the performance shortly. That is gospel artist Rofhiwa Manyaga. He will be performing for us a little bit later. But